Capricorn, December 2025 begins with a quiet intensity, the kind you feel in your chest before anything visible happens. There's a shift in the air as the month opens, a sense that you're stepping into a moment where long-range plans, long-pending decisions, and long-earned rewards start aligning with your reality. It's subtle, but powerful. Almost like standing on the edge of a new elevation point, aware that something important is about to move. From the very first days of the month, the atmosphere around you grows calmer, steadier, almost deliberately slowed. This isn't stagnation, it's preparation. Life is giving you room to breathe, to think, to observe your own thoughts without interruption. You may feel a rising clarity, as if the noise of the past months finally settles into something you can understand. This marks the essence of December for you, reorientation. A return to your own priorities, your own standards, your own pace. Emotionally, this month brings a kind of grounded honesty. You start noticing what no longer deserves your emotional labor, where you've been overextending, and what needs to be rebalanced. You become more selective, not colder, but clearer. And this clarity gives you a sense of inner authority that's been missing for a while. You're not searching for direction, you're choosing it. One of the central themes of December for Capricorn is career alignment. Not hustle. Not pressure. Alignment. A conversation, a proposal, a meeting, or a subtle shift inside your workplace may mark the beginning of a new professional trajectory. This isn't random. It's something that has been forming in the background for months. You're entering a period where your experience, your discipline, and your reputation begin to speak louder than any effort you could push outward. At the same time, there's a quiet restructuring happening beneath the surface of your financial world. December brings clarity about what needs to be stabilized, shifted, or invested differently. You may reconsider commitments, refine long-term plans, or receive information that influences your financial strategy for 2026. This is not a month of reckless decisions. It's a month of wise ones. But December also carries a challenge, one that you are more than capable of navigating. It pushes you to confront where you've been carrying too much weight alone. Whether in work, relationships, or your inner life, the month urges you toward healthier boundaries. You don't need to do everything. You don't need to hold everything. You don't need to be the structure for everyone else while neglecting your own. In relationships, you may feel a shift toward maturity and depth. Conversations become more honest. Expectations become clearer. You're less interested in emotional guesswork and more interested in partnerships, romantic or otherwise, that bring stability, grounding, and growth. If someone in your life shows inconsistency, December reveals it. If someone shows commitment, December strengthens it. Through all of this, a subtle sense of anticipation builds. It feels like the month is leading you towards something, a decision, an insight, a moment of truth, that has the potential to reshape your year ahead. You can sense it even now, rising slowly in the background. As December unfolds, Capricorn, your sense of purpose becomes stronger, almost gravitational. You feel yourself drawn toward clarity in your work, your relationships, your goals, your routines. It's as if your inner compass, which may have been spinning earlier this year, finally clicks into its true direction. And once it does, everything in your life begins to rearrange around it. This is the part of the month where you start seeing the results of choices you made months ago, even choices you doubted. A project you committed to with patience now shows signs of progress. A responsibility you handled quietly begins to be noticed. Someone in a position of influence pays attention to your consistency, your reliability, your resilience. This doesn't come with grand announcements, but the energy is undeniable. Your work is speaking for you. Professionally, this is a defining period. Important conversations may happen behind the scenes. Decisions about leadership, restructuring, or future planning may involve you more directly than you expect. Someone may ask for your input, your guidance, or your presence in a significant discussion. If you've been waiting for clarity about your role, December begins to reveal it, not through pressure, but through recognition. Emotionally, this is a month of simplification. Your heart seeks steadiness, not complexity. You may feel more reserved with those who drain your energy and more open with those who bring you peace. You're not shutting people out, you're choosing where your emotional investment goes. And that choice shapes your relationships in meaningful ways. If you're in a partnership, this period brings deeper understanding. You and your partner discuss long-term plans, responsibilities, or shared visions with clarity instead of tension. A sense of teamwork emerges, or re-emerges, and strengthens your connection. If you're single, December draws someone toward you who resonates with your steadiness and quiet intensity. This person may appear through work, shared responsibilities, or an environment tied to your daily routine. The connection is not dramatic, but it feels grounded, quietly significant. Financially, December encourages you to be strategic. You may analyze your expenses, refine your budgets, reconsider certain commitments, or prepare for an investment in early 2026. There is maturity in your approach, you're building stability, not chasing quick gains. And this practical wisdom becomes one of your greatest strengths this month. Energetically, you begin to feel more centered. The heaviness of earlier months fades. You may feel more rested, more focused, more capable of handling what comes your way. There is a grounded confidence in you, not loud, not aggressive, but unmistakably steady. Yet beneath this stability, something is brewing. A change in your environment. A decision you didn't plan to make. A shift in responsibility. A truth rising to the surface. You can feel it building slowly, not threatening, but important. It's as though December is preparing you for a turning point, a moment when something clicks into place with sudden clarity. And as the middle of the month approaches, the feeling intensifies. By mid-December, Capricorn, the quiet preparation of the earlier weeks begins to take form. What felt subtle now becomes visible. What felt distant now becomes tangible. And what felt uncertain now begins to settle into something you can name, responsibilities shifting, opportunities aligning, clarity emerging. One of the strongest themes opening here is structural change. Something in your environment, your work, your routine, your commitments, or your long-term plans, begins to shift. It may be the result of decisions made by others, or it may come from your own realization that a certain part of your life is ready for a new framework. Either way, you move through this change with unusual steadiness. You see both the risks and the potential, and you respond with a calm that others quietly admire. In your professional life, December now carries weight. You may step into a new level of responsibility, even if unofficially at first. Someone may trust you with information that others don't have. A superior or colleague may ask for your perspective on something meaningful. Or you may be given the chance to influence decisions that shape the work environment in the coming year. This is not accidental. It's the result of months, or even years, of consistent effort. People are beginning to recognize the depth of your discipline, your maturity, your loyalty, and your ability to hold steady under pressure. And December brings the first signs that 2026 could be a year of elevation for you. Emotionally, this is the part of the month where you become more introspective. Not withdrawn, thoughtful. You're observing your own reactions, your limits, your needs. You may realize that you've outgrown certain dynamics or that you're ready to ask for more respect, more balance, more transparency, more reciprocity. And what's remarkable is that this internal shift is mirrored externally. People begin responding to you differently. They take you more seriously. They sense the change in your energy. In relationships, clarity becomes the theme. If you're in a partnership, someone may express something honest and vulnerable, a hope, a concern, a future plan. You may do the same. These conversations deepen the bond, bringing a sense of teamwork and direction. If there has been tension this year, December smooths the edges in a way that feels organic rather than forced. If you're single, this part of the month brings an encounter or exchange that catches your attention. Someone may approach you with sincerity, respect, or emotional maturity, qualities that align with what your heart truly values. You may find yourself thinking, "This feels real." The connection unfolds slowly, but meaningfully. Financially, the tone becomes more serious but also more empowering. You may reorganize something important, a payment plan, a contract, a long-term commitment, a professional path that influences your finances. You're not acting impulsively. You're building a stable foundation for the year ahead. Energetically, you shift into a deeper sense of authority, not external authority, but inner authority. You stop doubting your instincts. You trust your timing. And you begin to understand why certain delays earlier in the year were not setbacks, but protection. And then, near the third week of the month, something begins to crystallize. A choice. A realization. A truth. A responsibility. A new path forming. You can feel the moment approaching, quiet, precise, and undeniably important. As the final days of December approach, Capricorn, the energy around you sharpens into clarity. What has been slowly building throughout the month now steps fully into view, bringing a moment of recognition, a turning point that feels both inevitable and perfectly timed. Between December 26th and 30th, something important lands, a decision, a message, an opportunity, or a realization that rearranges the landscape of your coming year. It may relate to your work, your long-term goals, your living situation, or a responsibility you've been negotiating internally for months. Whatever arrives, it brings direction. It brings alignment. And it brings a sense of stability that you've been quietly craving. This moment is not dramatic, but it is defining. You understand something now that you didn't earlier in the year. You see your priorities with precision. You see the path ahead with more confidence. You recognize where your effort belongs, and where it no longer needs to go. This is a month where your mature clarity becomes your guiding force. In relationships, the final week of December brings honesty with a soft edge. You may express something you haven't said out loud before, a truth about what you need, what you hope for, what you're willing to commit to. The response you receive is grounding rather than destabilizing. Whether you're strengthening an existing bond or quietly stepping away from something uncertain, you do so with grace and steadiness. If you're single, this period may bring a meaningful conversation or encounter that sparks a sense of possibility. Someone's sincerity touches you. Someone's consistency impresses you. You're not drawn to intensity now. You're drawn to someone who feels like a solid presence, someone who mirrors the calm strength you've been cultivating all month. Professionally, the final days of December solidify something. You may receive praise, confirmation, or an indication of trust from someone in authority. You may finish a project that clears mental space for a bigger goal. You may realize that your career is entering a new phase, one where your expertise, not just your effort, becomes visible. Financially, this period brings clarity and stability. You may finalize a plan, reconsider a long-term commitment, or receive news that influences your strategy for 2026. This isn't a month of financial surprise, it's a month of intelligent adjustments, the kind that create strong foundations. Energetically, you end the month grounded, centered, and quietly empowered. The heaviness of earlier months lifts. You feel connected to your purpose again. And perhaps most importantly, you trust yourself, your timing, your decisions, your intuition. You're stepping into your own season with a clear mind and a stronger sense of identity. The year closes not with chaos, but with certainty. December leaves you with one message. You are ready for the next level, and the next level is ready for you. Capricorn, thank you for spending this time with me. If this forecast resonated with you, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for your monthly readings. Your path is shifting, thoughtfully, steadily, beautifully, and they'll be here to guide you every step of the way.